got to take one touch and just boom it clear. In the end, he tries to be clever, little chop back. Iheanacho does really, really well. Presents a minus, a tight angle, great cut back. Hazard makes no mistake. And look, they have deserved, I think, at least one goal today, Leicester. They have played their part in this game, but the goalkeeping errors, you think, which he was looking to eradicate, it looks like actually they haven't done that, Rebecca.
Game on. 63 played, Premier League Live, Leicester 1, Liverpool 2. If you're listening around the world, it is great to have you with us for what all of a sudden could be a compelling conclusion. The King Power is buzzing now. It's been a cauldron that's bubbled and boiled over the course of the game, and growing frustration and resentment from the fans as one or two decisions potentially didn't go Leicester's way. And that goal has suddenly capped it all off, and it's a powder keg, and it has ignited. Leicester looking for a second now. Just listen to that King Power roar. Here's Maddison. He's got options either side of him, bearing down on goal, and just took it too long. James Maddison didn't take his options, and well done Jordan Henderson, who came back and just nipped the ball from between his heels.
Yeah, excellent play there. But just going back to Alisson Becker, the goalkeeper, in the first half, do you remember he said, look, a couple of times he won possession, they've been under the caution, he looked to restart play quickly, and I felt he's playing out, and we did touch on that, their playing out wasn't as good as the likes of Man City, and you could see evidence there. Alisson taking too many chances, it wasn't on, and structurally I feel they're not quite in the same place. Look, their front three will get goals, but actually at the back, playing out when it's not on, they never look totally set, totally comfortable, then they're definitely not in the same sort of place of City in terms of their evolution.
And we can scratch out Sally Armstrong's prediction from Accra in Ghana, 3-0 to Liverpool. That will not be the case. 11 attempts now to Liverpool's 8 by Leicester. They lead that, and they lead attempts on target. That stat as well, that's flipped around to 5-4 in Leicester's favour, as Andy Robertson brings down James Maddison. Maddison himself having pulled down Milner a moment prior, for a little bit of edge to this game. All the drama all of a sudden. It's going to be a fascinating conclusion, these final 25 minutes. Can't wait.
Well, Maddison's the main man. He's, as I said, he's just playing his at 10, just off the front, receives in the pocket, so comfortable on the half turn in tight spaces. I'm sure Gareth Southgate's looking on, licking his lips, and also there'll be people questioning, well, why isn't he in the England squad? He's been so dangerous today, so effective, really bright. He's not the man most likely, that's for sure.
Big money signing from Norwich City, and so far living up to the hype. Good delivery as far as Harry Maguire, who's onside, I think, as he brings it down. No, there's another late flag, and Maguire looks in frustration and gesticulates at the referees officially. Goes in at the far post, Harry Maguire. Didn't control the ball brilliantly, but was preparing to try and fire home the rebound from a tight angle when eventually the flag went up. And looking at the replay, just about the right call.
It's close, but I think it was right. He's got to hold his run there, Maguire.
Liverpool playing there. Sal's almost into trouble again at the back there, riding their luck as Iheanacho bore down on the centre halves, and Liverpool get the free kick, but they're rattled, but they're still trying to play the ball at the back. They're trying to stick to Klopp's discipline, but under some ferocious fire now.
Well, it's just not set up, because Van Dijk's the only one there. He's so deep away from his other defenders, he's got no one to actually play the ball to. So structurally, they're not as well spaced as the likes of Man City, for example, in their build-up play. They're nowhere near at that level yet.
Chrissy White, that's far more like it from Iheanacho. Alisson on Cooper, glad Liverpool's defence has been breached. Otuani Kasula, Alisson is human after all. Wink, wink, wink. Keep your reaction to that goal and to this game coming in at TalkSport Live on social media. We'll continue to read out the best of the lines and the best of the comments between now and the conclusion of this now very exciting game. 67 on the clock. It's Leicester 1, Liverpool 2. Liverpool back on the attack, but an early cross that really didn't do an awful lot. Leicester nearly counter-attacked down this near stand side. Trent Alexander-Arnold wins the ball briefly, but Ndidi wins it back for Leicester. Listen to the roar of the home fans again. Maddison outside of the right boot to try and free Chilwell. Chilwell wasn't going to get there, but he still appreciated and respected the endeavour. It was a good thing to try maybe there. Why not?
Well, I think one player who might be concerning Gareth Southgate is Alexander-Arnold. He hasn't had the greatest of games today. He's lost the ball in quite a few dangerous areas. He does have pace to get back, but decision making can be questioned at times today, that's for sure.
Chilwell bang on halfway. Infield to Ndidi, to Nampalys Mendy, and this game has taken on such a different complexion here on Premier League Live. Not just since the goal, it was already, I think, going that way momentum wise, but the goal is just put this new lease of life into the final 23 minutes. Leicester City 1, Liverpool 2, as Chilwell tries to turn, plays the ball very adeptly off Alexander-Arnold and out for another throw, and we are now going to see Naby Keita come onto the field, and we might see a second replacement as well, which I think is going to be Alberto Moreno. Interesting. Leicester come forward again. Maguire to Chilwell. Back to Harry Maguire. Is he going to ping another quarterback-style pass from the pocket across the field? Indeed he is. Hazard controls it. He's being followed every step of the way by, I think it's Jordan Henderson. Leicester this time themselves just forced back to halfway. Good composure from the Foxes. The ripple of applause from the fans makes their appreciation of what Leicester are doing very, very clear. Maguire again over the top. Pinpoint pass. Chested down with ease by Chilwell. Maddison over the top. This is great football. It's brought down by Gray. This is a wonderful move, and Damari Gray's final ball, trying to find Kelechi Iheanacho, was poor. That's frustrating. Everything until the last pass then was excellent.
It was, again though, it's all coming through Maddison, this time dropping deep. He's not playing off the front, he's almost on the halfway line. He's really in the groove. You can tell his tail is up, he's in confident form. He's been excellent today.
Far end, Liverpool, no cultured play there. They just smack the ball downfield, and Leicester deal with that as well. Salah tries to close down space on Pereira, but Ricardo Pereira walks it downfield himself, looking for the pace of Iheanacho. In the second half alone, Leicester with 5 attempts on goal to Liverpool's 1. Remarkable statistic. Here come Liverpool trying to make something happen themselves. Firmino and Salah exchanging passes. Linesman's flag up again.
Well, you can go back to look. Van Dijk won the ball. He's under pressure, and rather than take his time and draw Iheanacho towards him, he just lays the ball off to Joe Gomez, who then is immediately pressed. And again, they just don't look comfortable playing out Liverpool.
It's going to be a Liverpool double sub. One is the player we expected. Naby Keita is coming on, but Alberto Moreno has sat back down, and it's going to be Xherdan Shaqiri as the other player to come onto the field. So the Swiss signed from Stoke, and Naby Keita, of course, the £52 million man who was signed a year ago but then only came this summer. When he comes off, come a couple of big names, let's be fair. Mohamed Salah, who's not had his best game by any stretch, and Jordan Henderson after his first start of the Premier League season. Off comes the club captain, replacing the man he's often replaced himself in Keita.
Well, I can understand Jordan Henderson because he hasn't played a lot of football, obviously, you know, and just going from some fresh legs, but yeah, Mo Salah has been disappointing today.
Leicester 1, Liverpool 2. Leicester thoroughly deserve to be back into this, no question. Can they get an equalising goal? On the balance of much of this game, I think you'd have to say that they would deserve it. Ball out to the far side. Leicester trying to make something happen. Just maybe after that ferocious period where they were just dominating and bullying and hassling Liverpool, a little bit of a still and a pause and a bit more equilibrium in the game. But you get that, you get these cyclical waves, don't you? And as we said, David, it's about capitalising when you are the team on top.
Yeah, well, they have got their one goal. Can they get another? I just wonder though, how many we looked at taking off Firmino, because he's been I know he's got his goal, but he has been disappointing today. Maybe put Salah down through the middle.
D.E. Stone has tweeted in saying, do you remember you read out a tweet from a listener in the first half predicting a blunder from Alisson, and we didn't quite discount it, but we weren't too convinced. Well, D.E. Stone says whoever tweeted that in the first half was right. Fair play to them. At TalkSport Live, and the cop thought they got Karius away, not realising that the man they replaced him with is overhyped. That's Sir Ericsson Jr.'s take on social media at TalkSport Live. Keep your thoughts coming in. Nate Abuera listening to us saying, loving the commentary, boys. I'm driving from San Diego to Santa Cruz in California. Shout out to Sophia, the driver, as well. Great to have you with us, Nate. And you're listening around the world, keep your tweets coming in as Leicester City look for the equalising goal. 72 minutes on the clock on TalkSport Live. Leicester 1, Liverpool 2. Liverpool's goal breached for the first time this Premier League season. As things stand, they are still on track for a 4th straight win, and to go top of the table with a perfect 4 from 4 record. They're top anyway, and they're looking to extend that advantage for at least 2 or 3 hours.
Oh, Jurgen Klopp's going bananas on the sideline. I'm not surprised. They've been really tepid in this second half. Came out, thought they'd come out actually firing, trying to make a change, but it's been more or less the same. Really slow, laboured in possession. The front three haven't really got hold of the ball. much lauded front three, but they've been guilty today. I've been really poor in possession.
Interesting point from Ray Onuma, who's tweeted in, Leicester showing the way. Test Alisson, and I wonder if other teams will now follow suit. Interesting point.
Well, I think other teams will definitely go and press them because they're so poor at playing out. Today they've been awful. No structure, just off the cuff it looks like.
First touch from Xherdan Shaqiri, one of those two Liverpool subs. Just runs, collects the ball from deep and offloads it, and then takes his place back into the mobile front three, where of course he's joined Firmino and Sadio Mane. Shaqiri now the third man there, perhaps a little bit of a link man as well from those just behind him in central midfield as well. We'll see how that one pans out. Here's Joe Gomez bringing the ball forward as far as Naby Keita, his first meaningful touch of the game. Sub today for the first time in the Premier League rather than a starter. Xherdan Shaqiri hoping for plenty of game time as well, wearing 23. Swiss international. £12 million signing from Steichen. Firmino tries to do too much from too congested a position and gives the ball away. Here come Leicester. Maddison involved again. Ball over the top as far as Kelechi Iheanacho. Joe Gomez with a good interception. Andy Robertson completes the clearance on this occasion. Mane tries to put Morgan under pressure, but Wes back to his keeper.
Well, I don't want to keep picking on Firmino, but I'm sure when they get their stats, and even this game, this will be straight to DVD one. He won't want to look at this. He's been awful. I know he's got his goal, but in terms of a front man, linking, holding the play up, bringing others into play, just hasn't been there today.
Felix Bolanzi tweeting into us saying that bringing on Keita is exactly what Liverpool need at this point in the game to stabilise things. We'll see whether or not you're right. Was that a foul? The answer is no. Iheanacho up in the air from Van Dijk, who, don't forget, is on a yellow card. And Leicester had pushed forward and they've left space at the back, but Liverpool can't exploit it because the ball cross-field to Mane's overhit. And the replacement as well, David Connolly for Leicester City. Off will come Damari Gray, who had a mixed game, but he's certainly been full of running and, if anything, probably grown into the match. He's replaced by the Japanese international Shinji Okazaki, who, of course, since the World Cup has been playing his way back to fitness and now available for this game. On comes Okazaki, another big fan favourite, as we can hear.
Absolutely. I imagine though he'll go and slot into his usual number 10 position. I wonder if Maddison now will go out to the wide left. Gray, I feel sorry for him. Look, he started up front. It's not his usual position. I think he's much better playing off the wing. In the end, he's only had 20, 30 minutes in his favoured role. I imagine Maddison will now start playing out on this left-hand side. There he is on the ball, yeah.
Maddison just tries to get there ahead of Trent Alexander-Arnold, who does well. Neat little turn as well, this time from Firmino. Give credit where credit is due. So he plays the ball on the edge of the D to James Milner. Milner out as far as Shaqiri, I think it was. It was a poor ball actually on that occasion, and Liverpool were lucky to get it back. Leicester couldn't hold on to it. Wijnaldum back to Naby Keita. Out to the near side, to the young right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's been a fascinating battle with he and Chilwell. All the other wide players down this near stand side as it is in the second half. Shaqiri back on the ball, switching flanks. He's appealing for a free kick. He feels he was fouled, but no dice.
No change out of Paul Tierney there. It was 3v1 here, Shaqiri. I don't know why he just didn't try to offload it. In the end, there's three Leicester players all around him. Wrong decision. And I guess that each one of the front three has been guilty of that today at Liverpool. Poor decision making. I know they've got the 2 goals, but it hasn't been a vintage Liverpool performance. Definitely not from the front three.
And Benjamin Boyaka is keeping the faith from Ghana at TalkSport Live. Regardless of Leicester's current ascendancy in the game, he says Liverpool will win this one 3-1. Mark my word. Talk Jabs saying, what's wrong with the Liverpool keeping department? First Mignolet, then Karius, now Alisson. What on earth is going on? That tweet at TalkSport Live coming to us from Lagos in Nigeria. Good run down the far side from Pereira for Leicester. Just kept going and going and going, and that's an example of playing an attacking player at right back. Doesn't always work defensively, but just surging forward there. It was a great run. It won a throw, but Leicester frustratingly waste that throw. And now Liverpool the chance to build the ball forward. Robertson it was with the run, but in the end the Scot just overruns it and Leicester get it back. Chilwell's ball with his weaker right foot is a poor one this time. Shaqiri intercepts 1-2 with Alexander-Arnold. Here's Xherdan Shaqiri up to halfway for Liverpool. Naby Keita maybe having his shirt pulled by Ben Chilwell, and again 2 nibbles, and in the end they add up to 1 free kick.
Well, just going back to those tweets, I mean, if you look at the goal, okay, look, Alisson is at fault in terms of trying to play out and doing a little Cruyff turn when he's getting pressed, and he should have cleared the ball. But actually, the pass back to him from Van Dijk was awful. And that's another example, I think, of how poor their build-up has been. In their own half, when they're looking to play out, they never look comfortable. I think it was only a matter of time. I think better teams will punish them if they perform like this, particularly playing out the back.
Better stuff from Liverpool here, though. Keita to Firmino to Mane, and again Liverpool rapidly moving the ball forward. And Leicester powerless to stop them, but now Leicester get a bit of defensive shape and structure and push Liverpool back. The Reds about 10-12 yards out from the edge of the Leicester penalty area. They now try to inject some width into the attack. Alexander-Arnold just in front of our vantage point here on Premier League Live. 78 minutes played, Leicester 1, Liverpool 2. Shaqiri goes down again and gets back to his feet, but then plays a poor ball which Okazaki intercepts, but as the Japanese stretch for it, he couldn't quite control it, and Liverpool come again. Loose ball picked up on halfway by Virgil van Dijk. Back to Keita, back to Alexander-Arnold. Tries a first-time cross. Oh, and Polak's is Chilwell in an extremely painful part of his anatomy from very close range. That will have hurt. That's a bit of a stinger.
Again, though, Alexander-Arnold, I don't know why he's trying to deliver from there. There's only one in the box, outnumbered 4v1. Okay, it hits Chilwell, but he's had a difficult afternoon, I think, Alexander-Arnold.
Something young player.
But look, it wasn't even on. He had one touch out of his feet, quick look in the box. It wasn't on to actually deliver the ball.
Chilwell struggling here because a ball into the nether regions at pace as it was, and no deflection, it was straight in there. He's struggling.
I'm sure he'll be okay. Look, they won't want him to come off, that's for sure. He's been superb.
Jamie Vardy taking a look at his phone at the moment. He's been watching on from the sidelines, of course suspended at the moment. The manager said in the first half whose stats head-to-head against Liverpool are absolutely fantastic, and who against the top six scores the majority of Leicester's goal, or the established big six. He's been missed today, and who...
Huge miss. And I think Liverpool got lucky today if they do end up getting 3 points. As you say, with him on board, I think he would have taken some of these opportunities.
And a couple of tweets, including Adiosun Kwazim, saying, I wonder what Loris Karius will be thinking, whether he's listening live or whether he catches up on this later from Turkey. What on earth is he going to think watching the man who's replaced him do that? I know it's a one-off, we shouldn't forget that as well. I mean, it was a horrific moment from Alisson, but it's one. If we don't see another, we'll probably forget this in a few weeks.
Absolutely, but just going back to Chilwell here, I mean, the physio's come on. I don't know what he can't put ice down there, so I don't know what
well, he could. It's probably not the optimum thing to do.
He either needs to just get on with it and get back on the pitch quickly, or they need to bring Fuchs on.
He's still on, yeah, he's still having another drink and being tended to. And Chilwell,
a physio can't exactly help him, can he?
Well, it would be awkward, particularly in front of 30,000 fans at the King Power. It would be awkward. I think we would both agree with that. He's going on. He's back on. And Harry Maguire's unhappy. He thinks that should have been a Leicester throw. The ball has come off him, according to the referee's assistant, and not off Xherdan Shaqiri. Jurgen Klopp's off and back to the edge of the technical area, barking out orders and remonstrating himself. Emotions running really high in this game. We're having absolutely everything. Scotty Nana, last born, says, I still think it'll be 3-1 Liverpool. We still never walk alone. Listening live, appreciate that, Scott. A late Harry Maguire header, says Senriksen Jr. Sensing a late draw for the Foxes from Maguire. At TalkSport Live, keep your tweets in. So the ball is Liverpool's. Delivery from Milner, an outswinger. It's a beauty, very similar in terms of delivery to the second goal. Mane was the man who rose with the header. Sadio Mane effectively unmarked, David. That header was wider of the mark than I think it should have been.
Well, for all their height that they possess, Leicester, their marking at set pieces has been terrible today. Going zonal, I just think it just allows people to get a run on you. But here we go, Maddison's off. I think he's been magnificent today, their best player.
Interesting call to take him off at this stage with 8 minutes to go.
Well, the crowd aren't happy.
No.
A few boos out, I can understand why.
Gets the applause, obviously, in terms of his own performance, but the decision, a little questionable. Off goes James Maddison. We'll confirm in just a second who's come onto the field to replace him. It's Daniel Amati, so I presume Amati will go to the back and Pereira will get pushed forward. What will they do from here?
Well, I just wonder I'm just going to see if he picks up a bag of ice, for example, Maddison, if he has felt something, but it's a shame that he's off the pitch. He's been superb.
Must be that. You wouldn't sacrifice an attacking midfielder for a defender like for like. You'd have to make a positional switch, surely, at this stage.
Well, he's their second striker, arguably. he's the go-to man. So he must be injured. Can't see why he's off the pitch otherwise.
Chilwell over the top, looking for Kelechi Iheanacho, and Becker on this occasion. Alisson Becker doesn't try and play the ball at his feet, he picks it up. Well, good idea. Fancy doing that, a goalkeeper, picking the ball up instead of trying to play it.
I just hope that, I'm sure he's hoping and praying that they get the 3 points here and that his error doesn't cost them, and he'll learn from it, no doubt. The worst thing when you're a goalkeeper, you make an error that actually costs your team points. You might get away with it today.
It'll be really interesting to see how the final few minutes of this one play out on Premier League Live. 83.5 on the clock. It's heavy company around the globe for Leicester 1, Liverpool 2. A game, if you're joining us late, that Sadio Mane and Roberto Firmino scored it in the first half for Liverpool, 10 and 44 minutes respectively. Back came Leicester with a goal midway through the second half that really has brought this game to life and made it very interesting. And here come Leicester again. Shinji Okazaki with the ball over the top, looking for Kelechi Iheanacho, just overhit. Couldn't quite poke it home. At the moment, it's just Ghezal's goal that Leicester have on the board. Will they get a second? I wonder. Liverpool definitely rattled.
They are. They're playing out again, though. Another example. I've been so critical of it today because it has been so poor. Just kick the ball straight out of play. But Okazaki there, poor ball over the top for Iheanacho. If that was Maddison, you just think he would have held on to the ball, created something. I'm a fan of Okazaki, but I'm just disappointed Maddison's still not on the pitch.
Ball over the top is a good one, and can Liverpool make it count here, I wonder? Leicester pushing up the field in search of their equaliser. Sadio Mane trying to exploit the gaps that open at the back, and Marty has indeed gone to right back, Pereira to right midfield, both trying to track their man, but Robertson's now in space, cross put in, good interception in the end. And Liverpool not a million miles away there. It's Maguire who made the block, and Leicester in the end struggled to get the ball clear. And there's a foul on the far side, and Sadio Mane is down clutching his head, but I don't think it's too serious. A little clash of heads with the new man, Amati. 5 minutes exactly to go. Premier League Live. Mane helped back to his feet by referee Paul Tierney. It is Leicester 1, Liverpool 2. Don't forget, following this game, we bring you another featured commentary game. Chelsea versus Bournemouth, Adam Bridge and Adrian Clark. All the goals as they fly in as well from Brighton, Fulham, Palace, Southampton, Everton, Huddersfield and West Ham Wolves. And one more featured game this evening, UK time, Manchester City versus Newcastle. Liverpool just trying to kill a bit of time now and make incremental progress down that left side.
Well, plenty of food for thought here, though, for Jurgen Klopp if they do come away with these 3 points. And Leicester should be really pleased because I think they've recovered actually from those 2 early goals. There's a shot from Alexander-Arnold, again, off target. He's been disappointing today.
Yeah, good run from Andy Robertson initially to cut across and beat a couple of Leicester players, and he saw Alexander-Arnold in space, and the youngster's eyes lit up. He had a pop with the outside of his right boot. As David Connolly says, it was certainly high, wide and handsome. Yemen needs help, has tweeted in. Leicester will be pushing for an equaliser when Liverpool hit them on the break for their third. Trust me, boys. So Yemen needs help. It's 3-1 in the end as Leicester push forward and then get hurt. It's all Leicester can surely do there. Now go for it, try and get it. There's no point in losing this game by a goal. You might as well lose it by 2 and have the chance at least of getting a point and trying to get something out of it.
Well, that's why I don't understand why Maddison is off, but if he kept him on, maybe he could have gone with 2 central strikers, maybe Okazaki as well, with him in behind, and really try to get something.
Great work from Maguire, beats 2 players and threads a pass through Keita's legs. The cross from the far side though is a poor one. Pereira had gone forward, so Marty was into that right back berth and his ball was poor. Wes Morgan launches a howitzer from deep. Alexander-Arnold's header is unconvincing. Here's Ghezal, and of course we've got the Leicester goal. Michel Ghezal far in field as far as Chilwell, tantalising delivery. Van Dijk is up there. Still Leicester with a bit of head tennis on the edge of the area, desperately try and bring the ball down to get a shot away. It won't fall for them, but Leicester do pick up the ball loose. And Palis Mendy this time upended by Sadio Mane. Leicester take the free kick quickly. Shinji Okazaki, edge of the area, back to goal. Can't get the shot away. Iheanacho to Ndidi from distance who tries a shot. It's blocked by Naby Keita. Morgan again. Edge of the deep. Poor header though from Wes Morgan, caught in 2 minds. And Mendy has brought down his man, and that's going to be a yellow card for Palis Mendy. Fairly blatant foul there as he takes Mane out of the game.
Well, he knew he was going to lose the foot race here. He's on the edge of the sort of halfway line, blocks Mane off. Yeah, it's a definite yellow card.
Cynical, I think would be the word, David Connolly.
It was, but it was probably required. took one for the team there.
Salamo Adeleke and same old Liverpool with their keepers, but I think they will see it through. Listening live from Lagos. And being clever in possession is so much of what football is about in Brazil. I don't think that Alisson has known any other way to play. So David Harrison, based in Brazil, getting in touch saying, don't forget that's the kind of doctrine and pedigree that Alisson has been brought up with. Can you take that out of the game? I don't know.
Well, yes, but I mean, in terms of where he was past the ball, Van Dijk put him under all sorts of pressure, and Iheanacho was so close to him. You can't take someone on the edge of the actual byline. I mean, that's just crazy. And going back to, look, the subs are made here. Alexander-Arnold's come off for the last couple of minutes for Matip. I think he's been really disappointing today, Alexander-Arnold.
So Joel Matip onto the field as another Liverpool replacement, and who was first choice on and off for a good chunk of last season, but he's found himself more often than not back down to the bench. Obviously Dan Lovren to come back in as well. There's still one or two options there with that Liverpool defence as to what is Jurgen Klopp's optimum back four for the rest of this season. Liverpool throw, which Gomez takes. It's a long throw, but it's too long, and it's over the head of a couple of Liverpool forwards and straight into the hands of Kasper Schmeichel. He tries to take that one quickly and pass one downfield Jordan Pickford style. It's unsuccessful. Liverpool cut it out, but Leicester again win the secondary ball through a Martic, and that's a poor ball. I tell you what, the two bits of distribution that we've seen so far since they changed positions from Pereira and Amati have been disappointing.
They have, and it looks a bit disjointed now from Leicester. I think the substitutions have worked. I think Iheanacho's given that pace in behind, but they've almost looked at him too readily. As soon as they've got it, trying to release him over the top, and maybe it hasn't been on. That man Maddison, when he was always on into feet, and they knew to try and find him. He'd maybe create something. They've lost that creative spark since he's gone off the pitch.
Well, Liverpool had only had 19 attempts on their goal by their opponents in the first 3 games of the season, which was by far the lowest in the league. Today's been a real seismic shift there. Leicester have been peppering them with chances, haven't they? Even if they may yet lose the game. Xherdan Shaqiri's been pretty industrious since coming on the field. Not everything he's done has worked. That one doesn't work, but he's done all right. I guess when you're ahead, if you're going to stretch the opposition, eat into a bit of time and just keep the ball, he's done that okay.
He has. The only thing is he's a sort of lefty playing on the right, so he's always looking to cut infield, and Leicester have done really well just to force him down the line. He has won his side a corner though.
5 additional minutes, and we're just into that, and the Leicester fans roaring because they've got 5 to try and get their equaliser. But after Shaqiri's work there, the ball had actually flicked off a Leicester player, and it will be a Liverpool corner. And Shaqiri's gone to James Milner, and they're just discussing what to do, and I think effectively how to eat down as much of this 5 minutes as possible. Shaqiri playing keep ball by the corner flag. Okazaki comes wading in, but ends up playing the ball off Xherdan Shaqiri. A rueful glance from the Japanese, and Liverpool, having eaten up about 30 seconds in this far corner, will have the throw as well, which Xherdan Shaqiri is in absolutely no hurry to take whatsoever, which is clearly his prerogative. Well,
Hazard then won the ball off Shaqiri. You couldn't have two polar opposite types of physique, could you? Hazard, lithe, tall, thin, and Shaqiri, a real stocky, muscular player.
Yep, squat man. As the ball is crossed in, it's overhit from Liverpool, and Leicester City do get it clear from there. Number 14, Ricardo Pereira. Jurgen Klopp is still not happy. His team are winning, and looks like they are going to make it 4 wins from 4, but he's barking out orders from the touchline.
Oh, because there's no reason for Gomez to launch that ball into the box with one player up there to try and win it, just gifting possession back to Leicester. Should have taken it short and killed time like they did in the corner.
Leicester one more opportunity to make something happen. Fezal to Chilwell again, and was that a foul by the number 12, Joe Gomez? The answer is no. Gomez now playing right back, interestingly, with Matip as centre half. That could have gone either way. Chilwell's convinced that he was fouled, referee having absolutely none of it, and some of those 50-50 decisions that haven't gone Leicester's way again have cost them. And I know there's not been a lot already that have been massively influential in the game, but they've added up, and it added to the sense of injustice from the home fans just when the goal went in, and that was when the atmosphere was so electric, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Leicester with 3 of the 5 additional minutes left here on Premier League Live. They're 2-1 down, trying to desperately make something happen. Was that a foul? The answer is yes. James Milner's brought down his man, and this time the ironic jeers from the Leicester fans. They do get the free kick this time, as Ricardo Pereira ran at Milner, and Milner kind of stood his ground, but I think he knew full well what he was doing.
Well, they have to be careful here, because Liverpool, they've got their offside trap completely perfect so far. Look how high it is, though. You just think if Maguire, if he can time this, if he can stay onside, delay his run, because twice now he's been offside basically from starting too high, starting behind the Liverpool line. If he times this right, he might get in.
Leicester City free kick in just a couple of moments' time. 2 minutes of additional time left on Premier League Live. Leicester 1, Liverpool 2. Cesal takes it over the top. Chilwell heads it across goal. That could have gone anywhere, and Virgil van Dijk was back, and he hacks it out of play for a corner. High fives all round. Commanding defending there from the world's most expensive defender. He stood tall and got the job done. It's a Leicester corner, and the keeper's coming up. Kasper Schmeichel's coming up from the back for this one. What a key moment. Just over 90 seconds to go. Schmeichel jostling in there in the box alongside his fellow Leicester defenders. The referee just calls everybody back because there is a little bit of pulling and pushing going on there.
Well, he's not actually marked here, Schmeichel, because Liverpool also got a couple of zones and they've got a few man markers, but because Schmeichel's come up, he is a free man. Just whether he can get free and get ahead of here.
Morgan, Maguire, Matip and Wijnaldum all shoving each other. It's going to be Rezal's delivery. Bending out swinger, Schmeichel was up there, it wasn't too far away from him, and it was Virgil van Dijk who got it clear again. Only as far though as just shy of halfway, and there's a foul from Leicester this time. Naby Keita's gone down, and I wonder if that is it. We've got a minute to go on Premier League Live. All the Leicester players were up, the ball swung not too far away from Kasper Schmeichel. And in the end, Ndidi is the man who's been booked for the foul. He's remonstrating, but that could be the final moment. And well done there twice to Virgil van Dijk, with the initial moments of brave defending and then the clearance as well.
Yeah, great first header, got up ever so well. And then Ndidi on the second one. I don't think there's any need to make a foul here. Yeah, he just elbows out Keita. You just need to keep the ball alive. So stupid, just gifting the ball back to Liverpool.
20 odd seconds to go. The Leicester fans very loud and proud at the end of this game. I think we're safely going to say they're going to lose it now. And Leicester has won an almighty twist in the final 15 seconds. But they've played well, and they will rue the fact they've not got something out of this. And as much as they'll take some positives, there is lots of food for thought for the team that topped the Premier League in the form of Liverpool. Here's Maguire, one last throw of the dice. Rampaging run, smacked it forward, had no choice, overhit. Then Chilwell for once cannot keep this one in play, and that may well be it. We are into the 96th of 95 minutes on Premier League Live. Still the sun bakes down on the East Midlands, and still it's Leicester 1, Liverpool 2. Maguire takes his eye off the ball and actually loses it there as far as Sadio Mane. And it's Liverpool on the attack, running the clock down and getting the job done. Liverpool do make it 4 wins from 4 to start their Premier League season. Mightily impressive stuff from them in the sense of getting the result. Jurgen Klopp and Claude exchanging hugs there. Liverpool have got some cracks, they've got some deficiencies, and they'll need to improve, and Leicester came mightily close to exploiting that very thing. Full-time score at the King Power Stadium. Leicester City 1, Liverpool 2. Milner back into the team. Remember, lovely 1-2 as far as Roberto Firmino. Brilliant save. Follow up, and he's put it wide as Mohamed Salah. That is such a rarity, isn't it? Really good move from Liverpool. Andrew Robertson with the Dundee United man to run, and it's an excellent run so far. He beats 2 Leicester players, gets the ball in, looking for Mane, and Sadio Mane gets his 4th of the season already. Super finish from him, and a brilliant setup from Andrew Robertson. That was better from Leicester. They come again. Cesal feeds one through as far as Gray, who's through on goal. Oh, good save in the end from Alisson. It's another corner which Milner takes again, and there's the header. It's into the back of the net, and Roberto Firmino gets his goal. Lovely and swinging corner. Leicester statuesque at the back. It's a critical goal before the break for the Reds. Leicester 0, Liverpool 2. Poor ball from Liverpool here, and all of a sudden Leicester can counter-attack. The ball out wide's a little bit overhit, but Mark Albrighton keeps it in on the near stand side. Cuts to his right for a chance for Maddison to fire one in on target. Good save in the end from Alisson, just a bit too close to the keeper. Virgil van Dijk, his back pass is poor as well. Alisson is forced right out. Alisson's decided to run with this one. He's been dispossessed. Here's Iheanacho running at an oblique angle. Surely it's going to be a goal. It is! Leicester are back into it. A horror show from Liverpool at the back. And it is